Hey everyone, Johnny here. Look, I get a lot of questions from clients, and one that pops up a lot, especially when you get ready to sell your home, is, hey, how do I really go about preparing my home to put it on the market? So I thought we'd talk about that today, give you some real steps that you can take now so that in a month or 3 months or 6 months from now, when you're ready to get your home on the market, you'll be able to sell it for top dollar in the shortest amount of time. All right, so the first thing that I would highly recommend is to focus on the small maintenance issues that you're aware of. They're all about your home. We're talking about little holes in the walls, caulking around the bathtub, or the gutters that are cluttered. And, these are issues what we call deferred maintenance, okay? So the best you can do is if you can handle this before the buyers show up, it would be to your advantage. So take care of all these things now, because it may be insignificant to you, and you may not even notice it. But buyers absolutely will notice them when the buyers walk through the property. And, they may be walking through and say, oh no, now I have to take care of this, I have to take care of that, and I got to take care of all these things, and get overwhelmed quite easily. And the entire perception of the house can actually change pretty quickly. Even the small things that you have, why don't you go ahead, hire a contractor, and change and take care of those things that are like $100 or less. None of the big major things. Those are things that you would have to discuss with an inspector. But I would highly recommend that you take care of the small things. The cost of repairs in a buyer's mind, especially when it comes to $200 here, $300, $400 there, they may get to a point where they just say, I'm going to walk away. This is way too much for me to work with. So I highly recommend that you take care of those maintenance issues in your home. Next, I want you to try and brighten up the home as much as possible. There's nothing that will make a home more unattractive than when walking in it and it feels incredibly dark, even with the lights on. And again, with a buyer, it's all about how the home makes them feel. So even with the lights on, if it still feels incredibly dark in the room, that might be a time for you to reconsider changing the light bulbs. Maybe you need a different paint on the walls, like a white, or maybe the blinds or the curtains are the wrong color. Make sure the blinds are open. We want to make sure we have a lot of sun coming into the house. Or maybe replace the curtains with a brighter or lighter color. Next, I would like you to start decluttering. Now, we've all been there before. We're talking about the things that accumulate over time, and it's pretty easy to do. But you know what? It might take quite a while for you to start organizing your stuff and figuring out what you want to sell, what you would like to keep, and the things you would like to donate. But start the process now and try to eliminate as many things as possible when it comes to decluttering your home. When I walk through a home with a buyer and, the house is cluttered, and then I walk through another home that's almost exactly the same, but it's open and it's not cluttered at all, that home feels larger. It may not be larger, but it feels larger, and that's what is really important. It's how the home makes the buyer feel. And so I would say declutter as much as possible. And, it might be hard at first to decide what you want to sort in different categories. But if you have a garage or an attic, get some boxes and begin boxing up things little by little. This way, it won't become overwhelming for you. So when it comes time for moving, you'll be organized and ready to move into your new home. Next, I would like you to focus on the curb appeal. This is the front of your home. When buyers first walk up to your property, that is what they're going to typically focus on. It is what they visualize as to what they see online, and then they match that with what they see in the front of the house. So there's an interesting psychological concept known as confirmation bias. So if you're not familiar with this, this is when we first see a person or a house or anything, and we're going to make a snap judgment decision right then and there about what we think about that particular object or person. And then later on, we're more likely to accept the facts that confirm our initial decision rather than accept facts that contradict the initial decision. So how this plays out in the real estate world is that when we walk up to a house and they say, wow, this is really cute and a pretty house, then, they walk into the home and they're more likely to look at it and accept the facts that confirm that, yes, this is indeed a pretty house, rather than the facts that contradict that. So it boils down to the first impression is crucial and really important to the property. So make sure that the curb appeal is absolutely the best it can be. Next, I want you to ask yourself, when was the last time that you updated anything in the home? And ask yourself this question about your kitchen, about your bathroom, your floors, your hardware, the handles on the doorknobs, the electrical outlets, and everything else. Because this is what buyers are gonna be looking at when they come through the property. Now, they're going to open up the door, and if the handles are 30 years old, you can absolutely tell, it's going to be like, oh my goodness, we have to replace this. Now we're going to have to update this. And, all the colors are obviously from the 70s and the 80s, and they're going to notice all of these things when they walk into the kitchen. It may be perfectly serviceable, but in their minds they're thinking, man, I got to update this kitchen. That's going to cost me 10 to 15 grand to do the same thing. And now we have to do it in the bathroom and update there. So, your kitchen and your bathroom, if they haven't been updated for 20 years, then I would strongly consider investing a little bit of money in these areas and bring them up to the modern standard. Finally, the last step is probably the hardest one for many of my clients, but will need you to depersonalize your home. When a buyer walks through your property, they need to be able to envision themselves living in your home. They need to be able to envision their TV, their couches, their furniture, and even their dog in your home. So when it comes time to them walking through your property and all they see are family photos and a feeling of another family living there, it can absolutely destroy their illusion of what it would feel like to live in your home. And quite frankly, it can be a bit awkward for even myself when I'm walking through a home showing another client and there's family photos everywhere and heirlooms and things of that nature. It makes it very difficult for the buyer to imagine living there. So we don't want to portray that feeling to potential buyers of you living there. I know it's hard, but I want you to take down your family photos and in your house, and then also, photos of your husband, your kids, your grandkids, and everything else, and then delicately put it in a box and put it to the side for just a few months until you have your home sold. Did you know that we provide a free home warranty? We cover all moving costs when it comes to relocation. We have short-term contracts you can cancel at any time. We provide an 18-month guarantee on the home you buy through us, or we will sell it for free. Give us a call today. We are here to serve you.